What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Not a Sheep podcast. My name is Narwhal. I'm here with my buddy Matt, and we're joined by our buddy Keezy.
None other than.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. This is our first time having a producer on the show.
Yeah,
rather than an artist. So we got a lot of stuff we want to talk to you about.
That is very well, both, but no, you're right. Because I told him right now I'm just doing the production mostly. So that's true. That's funny. You honored?
Yeah. You're focusing more on just getting better at producing right now as opposed to trying to rap or anything?
Yeah, I think just because there's more opportunity for me to get my foot in the door with production right now than there is actually, because I've been doing music for a little over 10 years now. So just rapping for that amount of time and having kind of done the few things that I've done, I'm I want to focus on kind of doing this and then maybe pull a Kanye or something,
It all kind of works together,
Yeah.
Once you get one thing going.
That's true. It really does. Yeah. I think making beats is cool too, because it's you have something that the artist needs. So
yeah.
You're gonna have to work with some producer. You just got to find the artist that works.
Do you feel like is there substantially more ways to make a living as a producer than if you wanted to be just an artist? Do you think there's more just contacts there?
Yeah, sometimes I think that because I guess it depends on what type of producer you're striving to be. I've worked on projects with artists too, so it's I feel like once you get into for lack of a better word, your executive producing bag, then you can kind of do your Diddy or your DJ Khaled, and it's you don't necessarily have to even make beats, right? It's just you can make beats, but it's you might just be the ear for what's going on in the studio. So I think that it also depends, because that's what I'm doing right now is just kind of making beats, but then also working with artists and trying to find somebody that I can kind of build stuff with, because I don't want to even have to make beats forever.
That's what producing is. It's a lot of people just think it's making beats and sending them to people, but it's making music.
It really is. Yeah. Like I said, Khaled and people like those people don't get enough credit.
For sure, yeah.
They definitely have an ear for what a hit sounds like, So, yeah.
So you said something that I thought was interesting. You want to find a certain artist that you can work with for many years to come. Is that a common thing where producers will kind of obviously they'll work with multiple people, but they'll have their guy.
Yeah.
Where, a lot of their albums are made by the same producer.
Yeah.
I feel
you should. Feel like
Drake and 40.
Yeah,
exactly.
guys
like that, guys that came up together.
Yeah.
I don't know why the first person that came to my head is YG and Mustard. You know what I mean? And I'm not a huge YG fan, but even that's a perfect
you
example
associate them
to
with
me.
Each other,
right? One, because you associate them together, and two, they literally did come up together, building a sound, and then once that sound broke, it was all right, now we're gonna go do. Now YG's a pop star and Mustard's a pop producer, they're a DJ or whatever. So it's I think that there's nothing against people wanting to be the best rapper. I feel a lot of, especially young artists, they get caught up in this mindset of I gotta be on, I gotta be famous, I gotta be the one that people are talking about, and it's bro, there's so much money in the industry behind the scenes, behind the camera. You know what I mean? I always thought about one of my really good friends, he's an engineer locally. I'm this dude, I literally know he makes over 6 figures just pressing record. Bro, you're not gonna tell me that's not success. I get to sit in a room and press record for 7 hours a day. I might be on my phone during the session or whatever. You know what I mean? It's but that's also another thing. Is what's your definition of successful? What do you want to do? So.
Well, and I think it's super cool when although a lot of producers maybe don't get the spotlight, I think it's cool when you see on YouTube the making of J. Cole's whatever beat
breaks down.
And you get to see the producers actually walk you through step by step. It's super cool.
Well, it's these days producers can be almost as big. If you think about a couple years ago when Metro Boomin was doing all the collab projects, it's people know who producers are nowadays. It used to not be like
some
that.
of my people that I know who aren't really that into hip hop, they're yo, do you know this artist Mustard? He dropped an album. I was they're on a level now where people don't even really realize, if you don't listen to hip hop, that this guy's just a producer, but he's now known as a star, which is really cool.
That's dope.
Mustard got a residency in Vegas. I'm you know what I mean? Usually only artists do stuff like that. But now it's you can get in there somehow.
Yeah. Cool. Well, before we get in like too much further into the episodes, the way we like to start most of the episodes is asking everyone what they've been listening to the last week or so. Because the whole idea of the show is ultimately to like bring spotlight to people who maybe deserve more recognition. So we just want to talk about what we've been listening to the last week. So I'll start it off so you can kind of get the idea. So on my playlist this week, we had One More Chance by Russ. I found this guy named Briston Maroney, who's like alternative rock or like alternative folk, which I don't know I don't even really know what folk is, and I especially don't know what alternative folk is. But and then
that sounds dope though.
Yeah,
we got Timothy Salazar, who was on your
Christmas video.
Yeah,
I know,
have you heard his new song, bro? It's
He's
dope.
hard. No, I haven't heard it.
Yeah, he dropped a new song last week called Wish You Were Here. He's super talented.
Bro, crazy. I love his videos too. I be like sharing his shit. I share people like, bro, I'm telling you, you got to dab me though. I'm telling you, because bro, I share people I rock with. Like, I'm not even telling you like for no reason, like, or just because. I'm like, bro, if I like it, I'm gonna post it. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's what people need. Like, that's what, especially when you're trying to just make a name for yourself. Like, I don't get why people don't share their friends' things, or people who like, if someone's trying to get like something going and you see them posting all the time, why not? Like, it's not gonna hurt to throw something on your story or like go leave a comment. It's so easy.
It's super easy.
But then we also got Young Pinch. I've said before, one of my favorite artists the last couple years. He dropped another single. God, there's like a fly flying around in here.
I seen that too.
I'm trying to get it.
Then Russ dropped another single called Throne Talks, and then obviously there was like a new Drake song last night with Lil Durk called Laugh Now, Cry Later.
Lil Durk.
But yeah, that's about it. Nothing crazy. Mainly just that Timothy Salazar has been on repeat.
Very soon.
But yeah, so Keezy, who do you? What's your style of music? Who do you listen to? And
man, so I have two things I would say. The first one, I'll just tell you about like what I've been listening to, but as of late, it's kind of interesting because I've been like I said, focusing on the production. So I started a YouTube channel a few months ago and just have been going crazy on there. So I've kind of focused on one style of beats because I think that's kind of just the smartest thing when you're making YouTube beats. It's like kind of have a channel for one sound. Yeah. So I did that, and I've been messing with a lot of the Detroit artists. I don't know if you guys know, like, outside of like the kind of more mainstream, there's so many like underground Detroit artists that are so good. Okay. So the main person I've been listening to lately is an artist named Baby Smooth. Okay. I just kind of got hip to him like a week or two ago, and like his projects are, it's not really like, it's a very kind of like niche sound, you know? Okay. But I think that people who kind of like more like I guess, I don't even know how to box it in, really. It's just kind of like that Detroit sound is very unique, you know. Okay.
Is he still like underground, or is he like pretty popular?
Yeah, a lot of those artists, really, they're just like independent. Mm-hmm. But I think that city, kind of like when you see like in Atlanta or something like that blowing up, it's like people that are from there and around there, they're going to support it heavy. Oh, yeah. So these guys get like millions of views on YouTube and stuff, but it's just awesome. Like they don't really get like,
we haven't heard of him.
Yeah, you don't really get unless you like know somebody, or if you're like me, maybe you just start producing for that sound recently, and then you just got to do like a wormhole. So
and it seems like every couple years there will be a new guy that'll pop off and like break through the mainstream barrier.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of SelfSufficient before?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Mm-hmm. He's like one of the kind of more mainstream Detroit artists now, but it's like, you know, I think even just him like a year ago was like considered underground or independent. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's another one though too that I've been listening to. And then kind of like more mainstream, or I keep using that word, but just kind of more like popular, I guess, or whatever. There's a project. Oh, Burna Boy just put out a project like yesterday. Okay. That is crazy. You guys should listen to that. I haven't listened to that yet. He got some heat. And then I really been going back because I've been like in a nostalgic kind of feeling lately. Yeah. So I listen to like a lot of old Ludacris. That's like one of my favorite rappers. Yeah. Listen to like Chicken and Beer and Red Light District. Mm-hmm. And then on the way here, playing like Reasonable Doubt. I'm like, just, you know what I mean? Just a little bit of everything. So
that's like last week. We re-listened to like Illmatic, and he had never heard Illmatic.
Oh, word?
And so we were like,
yeah, it's a good. I think Nas just put out an album recently too.
Yeah, he dropped a single last night for, I think it's a new album coming up.
That's exciting.
Trying to see that, or trying to hear that. Yeah, Illmatic, man.
Classic.
That's a good one for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I was listening to that like last week, and that took me down like just a loophole of I wasn't listening to a lot of rap over the last like month, and then I just totally got back into it, and like JID has been my go-to guy for the last like week. Just listening to like DiCaprio 2 and The Never Story is so good.
You said I saw like on Snapchat, you said you've also been listening to just a bunch of like
I was
like
just
90s
rap.
rap.
There's so much like old classic music that I'm just didn't grow up listening to, so I'm like I need to like learn about this, or else like I don't think I can really consider myself part of like hip hop culture.
I love the mindset. You know, you hear that? It's like I gotta learn before you gotta be a student though, for real.
No, I was listening to like Outkast, listening to I added a bunch of like new Scarface, or not like old Scarface albums to my playlist I haven't heard yet.
Have you have you listened to that Outkast album Aquemini?
Yeah, that's what I was listening to. That's just
dope. Bro, how old are you again? I forget.
19.
Okay, yeah. I was in college when I started listening to like real, like when I went back, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Basically the same age, like 19 years old. I made myself sound mad old. I'm only 26, but it's like, you know, you think about that, was like only a few years ago, right? I was just getting into like the shit that came before me. So don't ever feel like like I said, I love the mindset. You got to be like, I got to hear what else came before, and that'll also give you the, you know, inspiration or whatever going forward.
I love finding stuff. Like I didn't know J. Cole sampled like the Artist Storytelling Part 2, I think, on Born Sinner. Like I didn't realize they were the same beat.
You'll find a lot of that.
I was like, oh, that's so dope.
yeah, that's crazy. I like that too, because I know that you're like you actually care, you know. So you listen to it and you do your research. So you'll put a lot of those things together. It's so funny, like how many artists have bitten off of like your Outkast or like your UGK or like, you know, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. That stuff kind of goes unnoticed because of where we're at now. It's like we're so far from like the 90s shit. Like, you know, nobody's being born now and really going back and listening to that for real.
Do you think that like the artists that are popping off now that are like the 16, 17, 18-year-olds that are like going big, do you think they like go back and listen to the old stuff?
I mean, there's some young guys, like I know Jack Harlow like knows what he's talking about, but I'm sure that's not who you're referring
like Corday or somebody like that. There's your very like the very specific, but you know. But it's interesting though too, because it's like, I don't know, like if you think like as a producer, right? Like there's so much music from like as an example, the 70s specifically. Like I haven't heard all the music from the 70s, but most of those songs I know because they were popular hip hop songs in like the 90s, early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, you know, it's like maybe you won't hear it, but if you like music, you'll probably hear something that you like and be like, let me go find out what this original sample is. That's one of my favorite things to do, you know, just find like sample the original.
Searching,
But that's a perfect time to be searching through shit.
Yeah. During quarantine, I assume you've just been like making a ton of stuff since you've just been cooped up.
Many beats.
do you I've been curious, since you're like the first producer we've had on, like I've heard other producers say stuff along the lines of like when they're working on a project, they try not to listen to too many other artists because they don't want like their sound to get bogged down by these other people's sound. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you take inspiration from listening to like any and everything, or when you are trying to make like a certain style of beats, do you kind of like limit what you listen to?
Yeah, I think for me, it's really depending on the type of project. Like if I'm like, I remember when I worked on my album. It's called The Heavens Will Help, and I put that out like maybe like I think 2014 or so. Working on that project, I did not listen to anything at all. Like I really. And even before it was almost like boot camp or like training camp, like going in, I'm like, I didn't listen to hip hop or any rap music like months leading into like me actually recording this project. I didn't listen to any music really at all before. I remember actually during this time, the CD player, I had a CD player in my car. Yeah. Wow. I had a CD player in my car. It was broken. I didn't even listen to the radio. I drove around in silence for weeks. I swear. Cause I was just like, it wasn't even, the only shit I listened to was the stuff I was working on. Sorry if I keep getting loud.
No,
like,
you're good. I'm just trying to adjust it.
The only stuff I was listening to was my own, because I'm like, and I had a friend at that time who was like really into like just that mindset of just like, bro, don't even listen to anything but yourself, like, you know. And so I was just really kind of feeding, and we had and I'll kind of get more into this, I think, you know, further down, but we had a group or a collective that we were working with together, all of us, you know, and it was like, we had so much music where it's like, I don't have to listen to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really would just listen to our stuff and be cool with that. And I thought that was so dope, because it's like, we had a sound, we had so much stuff where it's like, bro, I got, you know what I mean, mixtapes out already. Like I don't even have to. So
wait, so tell us about that. You had like, what do you mean? You guys kind of had like your own group? Of,
So where I'll cut me off because this is a long ass story, I swear. So okay, so I'll tell like the shortest version I can. But in high school, in my sophomore year, so it's 2010, I created a collective called the Sky Division, and it was like kind of around that time where like the Taylor Gang shit was popping off, and like the Jets, like that was like a huge thing during like my like, you know, sophomore to senior year. Yeah. So like I'm like, shit, we need a collective because everybody, that's what's really going. Like even like Maybach music was like kind of, you know, so just like that whole thing of like pushing a collective within hip hop is like, it's huge. And not necessarily a group, right? Just like a collective, like how you have Rick Ross, Wale, and Meek Mill. It's like they're not a group, but they all kind of rap together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we had that. We had videographers. We had literally, it was like Odd Future. If you think of like Odd Future, except we weren't like half as famous as them. You know what I mean? So it was like Odd Future. Like we had a few rappers, few producers. I was just starting to learn to make beats at that time, so I was like kind of getting into that. And then it's just like, you know, I had been recording myself already for a few years, so I was like already like, you know, I didn't even need to go to the studio for real. It's just we just did it. We just did everything. We had the merch, we had the like the stereotypical like hip hop garage band shit, you know what I mean? But like, but in Anchorage, where I'm from originally, Anchorage, Alaska, like we were like out here, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it wasn't like just a garage band. It was like we had shows, we had like I said, projects out. We had we would go to like the little local radios and do like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like whenever I think about it, I'm like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Like we really did that, you know? And that was probably from 2010 to 2012 when once I graduated, I did a year of college in Anchorage, and then I moved to Washington. Yeah. So I was like,
did it fall apart kind of, or did people just kind of like fade out of it?
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was a little bit of both. Like, when you're younger and you're doing stuff like that, it's like, it's easier to do. There's a little bit less ego involved, and there's less, just like creative difference, I guess, too, because it's like everybody's kind of still figuring their stuff out. I think the hardest thing was when I was working there were three like main, kind of like three-headed snake, you know? It's like everybody else was there, but there was really me and then two other people. One of them moved here for school. He went to the Art Institute. So when that happened, it was kind of like, now I'm in Anchorage by myself and he's here, and we were the main ones who made the music. So it was kind of tough, like building off that. But then once I moved out here, things kind of like picked up a little bit more, because it was like, you're in a new state, you have, you know, different opportunity, you know, just a different scene. So, but once I moved here, I think that was kind of like the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? Because you get to a new place, you know, we had like few people leave, few people stay. The people who stayed, eventually we all ended up kind of like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I never try to sound like sour about how things went with that, because it's like, I learned so much, and like still to this day, like, you know, even though there's kind of like unspoken, like, you know, drama amongst like a few of us, it's still more so just like what we did, especially in Anchorage. It's like, bro, we'll never will be done again for sure. It never has been done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, regardless of whether or not like I never like pop from here, it's like, even like, it's kind of funny. It was like, even my kids, it's like, bro, if you ever live like back in Anchorage where I'm from, like you'll probably hear like stories about, you know, Sky Div and like just stuff like that. And I think that's amazing, because it's like, there's so many people who try to rap and don't get the opportunity to even like experience that. You know, like I had a show in my own city before I turned 21. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like, and it wasn't like I'm opening for so and so. It's like, now we headline, we sold our own tickets. So it's like, you know, it's dope. Like whatever. And that's why I said it really depends on what your definition of success is, because there's so many people who like try to play basketball. It's like, you never make varsity. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever. So it's like, maybe your definition of success was just making the team. Maybe you're super proud of that. I'm super proud of just doing what we did in Anchorage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So whatever happens after that, it's like, bro, that'll be just sugar outside, you know?
Well, and especially like, I've never been to Alaska, but I would guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's probably not as big of like a hip hop scene.
Not at all.
As like,
but there's still, you know, it's like one of those things like people are trying to do it regardless. You know, it's like wherever you're at, it's like there's somebody trying to do it.
Yeah.
And there are definitely artists like out there who deserve to be, you know, there's artists everywhere, but like, you know, when you think about those, like Alaska's pretty random. There's still some people out there who can go though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's cool that you guys had that group, because I feel like that's something that, as an artist of any type, like, it's so hard to do anything on your own. Like,
yeah,
because Matt, like, it's probably been tough for you because you're trying to produce and like make music, but like a lot of your buddies are like at college, or like the people you usually work with.
Yeah, the
a
people
lot
I
of them
kind of started working with have all kind of like, I mean, everyone's got their own thing they're doing in life.
Yeah.
So some people are going off to college, some people are doing whatever, but it's just like, that's the thing I wanted to ask you about, because like you produce, you rap, you also like engineer. It's like, it's really important to be like self-sufficient nowadays, but like sometimes it can just be like so much trying to balance it all.
I got something helpful. I remember I wanted to show you this too, because
Okay.
I've had a feeling we would talk about this.
Okay.
And I wanted to use this as an example on how it's important to learn. Oh, can you send me that picture, babe, please? Yeah. This is so funny, but it's such a good analogy.
Okay.
So must have been like January or something. This is a really weird backstory, but it's gonna make sense when I'm done. I promise.
Yeah, hit me up.
I started cutting my hair at home. Right.
Okay.
I called my barber at the time. Like, this is like a week before I needed the cut. I'm like, yo, can I come get in? He's like, yeah, just come through on Friday. On Friday, I hit him up. I'm like, I'm the type of person. I'm like, yo, are we still good for today? You know.
Yeah.
So I hit him up. He doesn't respond. When he finally does, he's like, oh, let's just do it tomorrow. I said, I'm never doing this again. I'm never ever gonna go without having my hair cut when I want it. So I start cutting my own hair. Oh. My girl actually cut it though, right? So she's like learning basically as we go. But it's like at this point, by the time it's like she's getting nice, we're already in quarantine. Yeah. So when I see a hella people on their IG and shit, I'm like, bro, I can't get my hair cut. I'm like, bro, I haven't had to worry about that for months. You know what I'm saying? Wait, let me show you this photo though, because this is hella funny.
No, that's totally true. Like I've heard the same thing about like for me, for like YouTube and podcasts, like one thing that sucks is like no one likes having to make thumbnails for the videos.
Oh yeah.
Because it's tough if you're not a graphic designer. But the thing is like, I don't know, I was talking to someone about it, and they're like, if you aren't self-sufficient and you can't do the whole process start to finish on your own, you're always relying on someone else. And if someone else drops the ball, then like your product's not getting put out there. But if you can record, if you can edit, if you can do the thumbnails, if you can do everything, then like all you have to rely on is yourself, and that's a way better feeling because like you're in complete control.
Yeah, 100%.
That's so true, bro. That's like, it's especially now because it's like I said, you go to your page, there's so much content. It's like you're either paying hella or you're doing this yourself, right? Because it's like you gotta put it out and you can't wait on people. But let me show you this picture. So this is I cut my hair yesterday. This is my first time doing it. Look at that,
Yeah, bro.
This is not how it's supposed to look, bro.
How
like
did you?
I'm like, how do you miss that one part?
How do you even do it? Like I've never. How do you cut your own hair?
You just like
you just gotta look in the mirror.
Bro, I swear I literally bro, I swear to God, it was like, what was it? It was last night. Because she was gone, so I'm like, I'm just do this. I'm just tired of waiting, you know? Start trying to do it myself. And I'm just in the mirror, like didn't even, like, really look at the back. I'm just, like, trying not to get too close to my dreads, you know? So it's like, but I knew if I messed up, like, she gonna take a look or whatever. But it's just really one of those things where it's like, you know, even with her, she lived with me. I don't even want to wait for her to cut my hair. I was like, I'm trying to do it right now. And if I want something done right now, I'm going to do it right now. Yeah. So it's, like, the same exact thing with music. Like, I was at a point where, like, when I told you I started making beats, I was already recording people. I was already pretty familiar with Pro Tools, but I hadn't had like any real. I just knew kind of how to set the session up and like, okay, press record, you know, drag it down, next bar or whatever. So I'm kind of getting more familiar, but just in life, I don't know when I started doing that, but that was a really like big turning point for me is when I started trying to do things myself, because it really helped me to really just see how much how much money I'm saving, and then two, how much like I rely on others for me to get what I need to get done. And that's like huge, you know? So, I was telling you about me recording in Anchorage and just kind of getting familiar with it. I had one of my homies, his name is Money, and he's just like kind of took me under his wing when I was like, I think a freshman in college. So
yeah.
He started showing me, just kind of letting me come through his studio and just record or like sit through sessions or whatever. And I really just kind of got to feel like I'm a real student. Like even in school, like I was a really good student, but I wasn't like the best like test taker and things like that. I just took really good notes and like just paid attention in class, you know?
Yeah.
So I did all right. And like I think those things kind of transferred through to like real life too. So like I just sat in the studio and like just absorbed as much as I could.
Yeah.
And by the time I was really starting to do like the Sky Div thing, it came in handy because it's like, you know, like I said, you don't always have the money at like 18, 19, you know, you're like a broke college student or whatever. So I'm like, I don't have money to go to the studio. I don't even have money to like fill my gas up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally have a song where I'm like, on one of my very first like kind of more popular projects where it's like riding through the city with your tank on E.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling so good, you could bank on me. I got the city on my back. It's like, you know, stuff like that where it's like I actually was like, you know, you don't have shit, but you're just trying to make like the best of it.
You've also Matt's got a song about being broke too.
Bro, I'm telling you, who doesn't? Because it's like, exactly. You know, you gotta talk about the struggle, bro. It's real.
Artist hustle.
Yeah, for real. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it bothers me so much when there's people that are like, oh, like, I want to start like I don't know, YouTube, for example. Like, oh, I'd like to start a YouTube channel, but like I don't know how to edit.
They're
it's
like, I don't have the equipment.
I don't have the equipment. It's like, bro, no one knows how. That's the point. Like, no one knew how to do it. And
before they did.
Yeah. You got to learn. And like,
yeah.
And that's one reason why I've known from the get-go that like I believed in Matt from the beginning, because I know Matt's going to make it because he does everything himself. And like, you don't have to rely on everybody, and you're always like trying to learn and like change your style. And it's just, I don't know, man. So many people are just not willing to like spend the time to learn. Like if they don't know how to do it already, they're like, that's not my thing.
Think about like how expensive would it be if you were a rapper to drop a song and all you do is rap. You have someone record for you, someone mix, someone master, someone make the cover, someone make the beat. Like that just adds up, and it's like by the time you're trying to drop a single, it's like
it takes
like
$500.
Yeah, it's like what?
Yeah,
that's so real, bro. Like it's funny. Like a lot of people don't really like. I work with artists now where I'm like, maybe like, okay, maybe you just start rapping like last year. So okay, I'm gonna not be upset with you if you like don't necessarily understand like how things work, because like I know, like this sound like so kind of arrogant, but it's like, bro, I've been doing this over 10 years. Like I kind of know a little bit about how things work. Yeah. Probably more so than like the person who started rapping like last year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not gonna be upset. But I'm also not going to like take time and try to explain like, you know, to an artist who buys a beat from like, why do I get 50% of the writer share? I'm not going to explain that to you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, these are things where if you're trying to do this, you should know kind of what you're getting. Before you buy that beat, you should know what's on that contract. You know what I'm saying? Like you should know kind of what you're signing up for. And so, yeah, I feel like, like I said, it all kind of goes into the same thing, just kind of knowing about, knowing how to do things for yourself. And I think once as a rapper, when I was young, it was just very important for me to be able to record. Like I remember when I was like, when I first got an inbox, which is like the interface, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Mom, I need this interface. I need a laptop. I need, you know, whatever. And it's just like, all right, we'll get you like the cheapest inbox we can find. I had a good laptop, and I had a microphone that was like, you know, I think my uncle gave me like for whatever. And I was like, bro, I'm out here. Like, I don't care. I'm out here. And I was really like, I still have a project like on Bandcamp from, and it's so funny because I called it Hardly Working, but it was when and I hate the way, like I would never listen to this project now, but I keep it out there because I'm like, that was the first project I recorded myself. I sent to somebody else to get mixed, but it was like, bro, I actually wrote these lyrics and recorded this in like one of my friends' rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just, you know, you start there, and then it's like, now I'm thinking like, what was that, like 2000, maybe 14 or 15. And it's like, what, 2020, I just did my first real project with another artist where I produced, I mixed and mastered the whole thing. And it's like, it just, when you listen to him, right, it's just like, you just hear so much progression where it's like, you can't even be mad about, you know, somebody kind of like naming their price or like charging whatever they want to charge for what they're doing, because of like, you know, like, you know, you listen to it, it's like, you can tell that this person been doing this for a while. So it's like,
so that's actually, I wanted to ask you about, well, two things. One, recently, didn't you dropped a sample pack?
Oh yeah.
So you're kind of getting into that part of the game now,
funny.
too.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm glad that y'all like pain, a little bit of pain.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about like that stuff, but then I also, just so we don't forget, I'm gonna say it now, but we also want to talk to you about how like you dropped like a song a week.
Yeah,
dude. Or just in general, you are the most like consistent
that's love
person I've seen.
Yeah,
like
any of the artists that
dude,
we're like around.
Every
sure.
single time I get on Instagram, it feels like there's always a new Keezy beat.
Man, trying to put him out there,
Yeah.
That's one thing. I'll dive into it. That's one thing I kind of I think learned from just when I started doing music, like with I'm like a huge Wiz Khalifa fan. It's kind of it sounds corny, but it's facts though. It's like, but I'm a Wiz fan for different reasons. I really followed like Wiz when he started. Like I remember when Wiz got Twitter, and that was like the first person I followed on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was like one of those. So it's like, and that's a really important person who like put kind of every step of his career out there and kind of just like documented the whole thing. And I always thought that was like super dope. And I always was like, bro, if I ever like had the team to really just shoot every moment, I will. Cause I'm like, one, you so many funny things happen. It's like you got to catch it, and then two, it's just like it's important, like you said, to just keep the content coming, keep it consistent. Back then, right? That's like 22. Like nobody was even calling it content back then. It's just like, oh, like where's the vlogs, or like where's like the whatever. So it's like, but we knew like it was like like that was kind of like his thing, was just like putting out the YouTube videos all the time. So now that I'm doing kind of like DIY everything, it's like I want to. Like, I still haven't bought a camera and, like, actually set up, like, a recording, like, a video recording for my shit. But it's still just, like, just even having your phone. Like, I remember, like, Adam22, I think, was doing vlogs on his phone and stuff before No Jumper, like, really kind of caught flame. So it's like, yeah, bro, I'm just every chance I get. And, excuse me, especially, like, just working in general. Like, I've said this before sometimes. It's just, like, random captions or whatever. But it's like, bro, I really do think that I'm the hardest working artist that's out here. You know,
Yeah,
I know
real.
I see a lot of people that like, and that's no disrespect, because I don't necessarily think that just because you work so hard means that you're like, you know,
It's
just,
how hard. It's like
yeah,
what you're
what are
working
you
hard
doing?
at.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like, like you could work 10 hours, but it's like, bro, what did you come up with? You know what I'm
It's
saying?
like you
what
could
do
make 100 beats and not do anything with them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And even like with people who, it's like that theory of like all work, no play, or like, you know, like no sleep or whatever. It's like, bro, if you're not sleeping, like you're not working as hard as me, because the work that you're doing while you're awake is like half-ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, for real.
if I'm like, so yeah, I really took that, and you know, with the song a week thing, I think it's really funny because I was like, I did take the idea from Russ, like I'm not even gonna lie, but I think that it's not even necessarily like taking an idea, it's more so just like following a similar like rollout, I guess. I think that with the streaming, you kind of have to put up, like you see artists dropping like 40 song albums and stuff, and it's
Bro,
like
it's getting insane.
it's crazy. Like I'm not gonna sit through 40 songs in a row, but I will sit through a song a week for 40 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I will sit through 40 songs in a row after I heard you on a playlist a couple times maybe. So it's like that was kind of my thing with the song a week. And I honestly, the two I think biggest things is like, one, will this work? And two, can I actually do it?
Yeah.
And I think that is really what kept me going. It's just like I remember I was talking to one of my kind of like my mentor back home, and he's like, bro, you can't stop on week 52 because on week 53, that's going to be the week that you make it. And I'm like, you know, I was never really thinking like that. I think I'm not, you know, after rapping and doing music for as long as I have, it's like, I don't never think like, okay, tomorrow's going to be the day. You know, I'm going to get that call or like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just like, bro, I'm going to put this out and I'm going to keep putting stuff out. And even if this catches 1 million views tomorrow, I still got to have something, you know, else. So it's like, I'm always going to be like focused on the next thing. Even if if we recorded a hit in here right now, I'm like, and when I'm on my way home, I'm like, that was dope. What's next? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
So it's like,
You need to have
got
that.
to, yeah.
Sometimes you catch people who like they blow up and they're not ready for it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then like you wait a month and you don't hear anything from them,
Yeah.
and that by that point a lot of people just forget about it.
Especially
That can never
nowadays.
happen to me. Because I just like, I was just thinking about that. Like, bro, I got 50 songs. When I actually start wanting to shoot videos and stuff again, Like, I don't care if a song's 3 years old. I'm going to shoot a video for it like it came out yesterday. I'm going to put it out and I'm going to promote it like it came out yesterday, because I'm not promoting to the people who follow me right now. I'm promoting to people who don't. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm always going to. So, yeah, that's really the thing about with the music. I was like, you know, after I'm not even going to lie to you. I kind of got bored for a little bit. Like, when we met, bro, I was like at a point where I just started kind of doing the weekly shit. I think maybe like I was like a few months in. And like, even then, when you're like 3 months in, it doesn't seem like people are like, oh, he said he's going to drop a song a week for a year. Like, we'll see. In like 6 months, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, bro, by month 10, I like hadn't stopped. You know what I'm saying? It's like people were really starting to hit me like, yo, like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So it was cool. But I think, like I said, I was kind of just getting bored with what I'd been doing. I dropped a project, I think in February, or maybe like, I think it was like February of 2019, or maybe it was the year before. I kind of forgot. And the project was the KeezyBaby EP. That's like the last real project I did, and it was also kind of a turning point in my career, because that was really the last of like me being in like the skydive thing. And it was like maybe like a few months before that we kind of all like kind of dissipated. So is that the right word? I think. Yeah. So I was like, after that I was like, I gotta do this by myself. Like, I was really like the guy, you know what I'm saying? I rapped, I produced, I engineered for all of us. So it's like, I'm not about to break up with y'all and not do nothing. So I put out a project, and I think that was probably like my best, like, I mean, next to my album, like, that was probably, because it was like an EP, you know? So it's like, that was probably my best, like, work. And then I was just like, bro, I can't, you know, even with that project, I kind of saw, and sorry if I'm rambling, but just so many things coming to my mind. But with that project, I kind of saw, like, the change in which music is being received. If you're not an artist who, like, has a platform, nobody's necessarily looking for, like, your project. So I was like, okay, that's the last time I'll ever spend time working on a project. So, and, like, you know, relating to that, did
the method of releasing the music, did you accomplish what you wanted to by doing a song a week? Like, when you finished, like, did it go how you expected, and was it, like, did it work well, or was it by the end where you're like, all right, like, I'm kind of done with this?
Yeah, I think that it was like bittersweet. I think I didn't expect to like be where Russ is at, but I definitely expected to see like over 1,000 like Spotify monthly listeners. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't necessarily see that, but I also was like, I know for a fact, like, me as a person, I'm not the greatest like marketing, like, you know, person, or like, you know, I don't have the greatest like business mind when it comes to that type of stuff. So I don't really think that I was necessarily doing the right thing in terms of like promoting. I was kind of more so just putting it out, obviously promoting on like my regular platforms, but I wasn't like paying for like ads or like, you know, just doing things that maybe like I've heard a lot of people have, or like spamming. I know that that's like a thing, and people do that and it works, but it's like, I'm also not that kind of like artist or like person in real life. So it wasn't really the turnout I thought, but I also was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Just the fact that I came in here a year later, like, I haven't dropped a song at all this year. I came in here a year later and somebody says to me like, yo, you're like the most, you know what I'm saying? That is really kind of, whether I realize it or not, what I did it for, because it's like, if I put out a song tomorrow and it catches, like, there's 50 songs for y'all to go listen to. You know what I'm saying?
That's like the biggest thing I hear all the time is like, if you blow up, it's super important to, one, have songs you can put out, and then have like a back catalog.
Yeah, because if you got 3 songs and then your song goes like Arizona Zervis, like on TikTok, and they only have 3 other songs, that kind of sucks. But if it's Keezy, Keezy has like a couple hundred songs.
Like, you can't be a fan of someone if they have 2 songs. You can be a fan of someone that's got 50.
Like, I remember when like XXX Tentacion came out, and I was like, because I'm the type of person, if I hear about an artist and I really like them, the next thing I'm doing is going on YouTube. And it's like, if you don't have any videos, it's almost like a turnoff for real. Like, you know, so I went to go search him. Like, I didn't even really like his music, but it was just so, you remember what that was like, bro. It was just so crazy at the time where it's like, I got to see this. And there was no video. It was like maybe like it was like one of those like anime kind of mashup videos. And I was like, I was instantly like, kind of cringy, you know? I want to see something. And so I think that's important, you know, when you're building your initial like fan base or platform, you know, just to have shit for people to look at. Regardless.
Well, Matt and I were talking about, maybe like on our first episode or a couple weeks ago, but we were talking about how it kind of sucks how it seems like back in the day, getting big in music was about your music, and now it's almost like music is secondary. Like it's kind of like, and that's like you were saying how like you felt like you weren't the best at like the marketing or like the business side of stuff. That's what kind of sucks, is that like if you're putting out amazing music, it doesn't matter if you can't get people to see it. Like that's the hardest part with anything. And it's 100%. Like there's so many people that I know of that are super talented artists, like both you guys included, and it's like just trying to get eyes on it is so hard, because you know that if people see it, they'll like it. Like there's a
how many times have you said it? Bro, somebody heard this? Like, yeah, bro, it's gonna go up, bro, I promise. Like it's true.
But it's just sucks, because it's like with anything, it just, I don't know, it sucks when you see someone making amazing art and it's like, I love this, but no one's seeing it. And I don't know, man.
I think the hardest thing for like I'm glad that we're talking about this, because I don't get to have a lot of conversations with like people who know what they're talking about. So like when I do,
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but you know what you're talking about from the standpoint where it's like, and especially because like you don't rap, right? You don't make music. So it's like you're the perfect person to speak on this, because it's like, you know artists, but you're not an artist. So you're never going to be biased thinking from like an artist perspective. You know what I mean? But for real though, it's like, it's hard, bro, being an artist, because like there's even those memes like where it's like dude like carrying a rock on his back, and it's like the whole struggle before you like get to where, but like, bro, it's like that. Yes. But it's like, I'm so like confident in what I'm doing, where it's like, I don't care that, like when I put out like songs on Spotify, or not Spotify, on SoundCloud, because I was launching them from SoundCloud and then posting to Spotify. It's literally like I'm recording a song on Sunday morning and releasing it Sunday at 6 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes I was like, I gotta wait a few days before this gets to like streaming. But you know, going on SoundCloud, it's like nobody's listening to SoundCloud. It's like I'm posting a song, it's getting like 200 plays maybe. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care, bro, because it's like I'm not putting music out for the people who aren't necessarily listening. It's like I'm putting music out for the one time that like, you know, Drake goes and like plays my shit, and it's like, damn, now it's happening. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like a snowball. Like if you find that, if you put a song out and that one guy who's never heard of you finds it, that guy could be the guy who like tells all his friends, and then maybe a couple of them catch on, and it's like,
that's how it happens, man. I swear. And it's really funny because a lot of artists don't believe. So it's like, you might, like, I see so many producers, same thing, like, bro, I've been on YouTube for like a month. Like, you might have posted like two or three times within that month, and it's like, bro, I'm not seeing no sales, bro. Like, bro, come on. Like, you're not gonna, you know, you put out a song for 52 weeks in a row and come holla at me, bro. Like, I'll have some advice for you then. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't feel for people like that, because it's like, going back to what I was saying before, it's like, bro, I've been doing this too long. Like, you're not gonna complain to me, you only been rapping for 2 years. I've been rapping since I was 16 years old, bro. I'm 26 years old. Like, and that's not a long time, but it's like, bro, 2 Chainz didn't really get on until he was 37. Yeah. Like, if you're not comfortable with waiting that long, you should stop now.
Yeah, man.
For real, because
there's a lot of people like
you don't really love it if you're not. You know what I mean?
I don't know the exact quote, but I heard something like, they were talking about authors, and they were like, the authors who make it are just the people who just never stopped writing.
Yeah, gotta keep writing,
like,
bro.
There's a bunch of people that could have been authors, and after like 4 years, no one wants to publish their books, and so they just move on to something else. And it's like it's so rare for someone to do anything for a year or 2 years and like make it into a living. That's so rare.
And they fall off quick usually.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so we're at 50 minutes. I want to get into some other stuff before like we get too deep into the episode.
Okay.
So you released a sample pack.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know anything about producing. So can you like explain it? Cause like I'm intrigued, but like I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I got you. It's kind of funny because I never even saw myself like doing something like this. But when we went to, it actually all started when I went to Pass the Aux, because I think literally a month before that, like I discovered in my head, I'm just like, oh, this is how people make samples. Like if you can play an instrument, you record your size. I don't know why it clicked like that, but it did. It was really like one of those things like, oh, I get it now, you know? Like I've been making samples this whole time. I just been using my own. Yeah. So it's like, you know, beats. a lot of producers who make beats now, it's like you might use like what they call loops or whatever, you know, just like a pre-made like melody or whatever, you know, whatever it is. And that actually has been getting a lot of producers money, because people will sell their loop kits for like $10 to $30 or whatever, and it's like you might sell that like 300 times, you know, you made 3 racks or whatever. So it's like, you know, it actually, if you're like a huge producer and you have a good like fan base, you put out a sound kit, like you might make a 6-figure sound kit, you know what I mean? Just like off something you cooked up like over the course of like a couple weeks to a month. So
wait, so sorry, I'm not in this. So like,
oh yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
good.
have some clarifying.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to you a couple weeks ago about Mario Luciano.
Yeah,
he's like a local guy that's got like crazy samples, and that's kind of what he's
Crazy
known for.
placements too.
Yeah, he's recently been like getting super on.
Wait, okay, is a sound kit the same as like a?
I say the words synonymously, but
like,
a sound kit would be more like a drum kit, right?
Yeah.
With like different like drum sounds. But a sample kit, which is what I did, is like the like I was saying, like the pre-made loops and stuff like that.
But so it could be like any instrument
it could be like
samples.
one sample could just be like piano, one could be like piano with a bunch of whatever. But like it's kind of a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, it really depends too. Like you can there's no rules. Like you could do a sound kit and have like whatever you want in it, like a mixture or whatever. So that's kind of what we did, to be honest. You know.
Now, are there also like full finished beats that like an artist can just buy and use, or is that different?
I mean, that's like how, because like you have a beat store, and that's like an artist would go to that store to buy a beat to like that's already made to like make a song on, but like a sample pack is for like producers to like co-produce with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when an artist wants to go buy one of your beats, like they like license it or whatever, and then like are you like credited as like a producer?
Like I said, you should read your contracts. And I'm telling y'all out here buying beats and don't know what's in that contract, man. And it's real sad because it's like, bro, y'all. This is an off subject, but I literally could go on BeatStars right now and change the contract to say like, I own 100% of this song, like, and nobody would
buy
know.
It for
yeah,
like
they
$30.
would buy it, and whatever.
Oh, wait, you could. So if someone, you could literally just make it where like you own 100% of
you
it.
Could,
and if
like,
they don't pay attention, it's
they might. Yeah, most artists don't. I mean, like, how often do you actually read the terms and agreements? Right?
Like,
it's like,
never.
once you check that box, it's a wrap, bro. Like, I'm owning that. No, I'm playing. I would never do that to any of y'all, by the way. But I'm just saying, though, it's really funny because, like, when you think about it, people be out here signing contracts and like on the side. This is also off track. Me and my girl both work in like the law, like in the law firm.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that the right way. We both work in like the law field.
Yeah.
So like it's really interesting when you read a lot of stuff like that every day, and then you like kind of run a business. So you're thinking like, you know, how often do people actually go through and look at like what they're signing? Not often. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyways, I was just thinking about that. But yeah, with the sound pack, it was really interesting because when I went to Pass the Aux, I saw what Mario was doing, and I love Illmind's beats, but I didn't know at the time that he was like that he flipped a lot of loops, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, I when I went home after that event, I was like, that really changed how I looked at like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like,
so break it down for people who don't know. You guys met at a like a little seminar.
How would you even describe what Pass the Aux is?
I would say it's like a I would say a seminar is a good word. Like it's like a
just like
I wouldn't say convention because that's like it's like a seminar.
It's
though,
like that idea. It was at like a studio in Seattle, and I guess it's just like for anyone that does music, could be a producer, artist, singer, anything really.
And it's basically it's kind of like a class in a sense where Illmind is like basically
a master class. That's what I would say.
Okay.
It's a master class. It's not really like but those are kind of interchangeable.
Basically, like everybody got to play something on the aux. That's why it's called Pass the Aux. And then like Illmind will like give you some advice, kind of go around, and he'll ask you like, so what are you doing? Like, what's your goal with music? And that was really cool for like me to like tell him about my situation and hear his like actual advice. And I don't know.
Well, he seems to be one of the guys who, like, I don't know a lot about him, but I follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and he seems to be one of those guys who's very active in trying to like help.
He's
people
like genuine.
out
Yeah, he's a Jedi, bro. Shout outs to Illmind. He's dope, and he's good people. Like we actually got to like kick it with him a little bit after, and like, you know, he's just a very genuine dude, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of producers at that level aren't very personable, so it was cool. It was cool to kind of see that.
So what did you guys like for you, Keezy? What did you like take away from that? Because I know for Matt, he's told me like that was almost like life changing.
Yeah,
like,
I would say the same. Honestly, like it wasn't as like of a like. I don't want to say like
it wasn't
dramatic.
Like super profound.
It wasn't like for me like like, you know, but it was life changing in the sense that like just for me walking into a room with like X amount of people who do the same thing as me. That's crazy.
Yes, that was the crazy part.
You don't do that a lot, even as an artist, like even as a producer or whatever. It's like once you're doing what you're doing, you probably maybe like run with the same circle, or like you might go to the studio and kind of see somebody on your way out. But there's very limited chances for you to like play your stuff in front of other people who like kind of do the same thing. So I thought that was dope. I'm the type of person where it's like I think everybody's nice until I hear them. So as soon as I walk in, I'm like, damn, there's like 20 producers here who probably just as nice as me. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, bro, I'm just really, I was just excited to hear kind of what was going on in the Seattle area. That wasn't like, you know.
Bro, everyone was so different too.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like anyone made the same style of music.
It's so crazy. It was like, and I didn't really expect for, I guess, as many people from kind of outside of Seattle to be there, but there was like, I met
shout out to Craig.
Right, hella far trip, bro. It's like, you know,
where did Craig come from? Who's Craig?
Canada?
I think, he was like in Vancouver. Yeah, so he drove down past the border. I had some homies that I met through there who were living out in Bellevue.
Wait, was Mario Luciano there?
Yeah, he's from Everett, so it's like that's.
But like I thought he's already like big, right?
No, but he's like bros with Illmind, so like he just kind of showed up.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys know Travis Thompson?
Oh yeah, I know that. I know him as an artist.
He's from like he lives over by like in Burien.
Mm-hmm.
Oh okay, yeah.
But yeah, man, dude, there's a lot of talent in Seattle.
Yeah. It's crazy,
know, man.
I think that really opened my eyes for that, especially on the production side, where it's like the artists who are popular and the producers too. They're kind of all very like, it's kind of cliquey, you know, where it's like you kind of see the same names a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was just like, damn, it's so cool like that all y'all are so nice and I don't know anybody. That was so dope. It's like I don't know anyone here and you just kind of get to know everybody, you know.
Yeah, it was, and like I think the coolest part was like they connect everybody afterwards and they make a big like group chat on Instagram, and so like I still talk to like all those guys like pretty much every week.
Is that how you met Timothy?
Yeah, that's how I know all these guys is like they have a big group chat with everyone in it. But
yeah, man, that's like I said at the beginning. Like I feel like just having a group to like. Just when you're trying to make it, like having people that you know will go listen to your stuff. Yeah, you'll go listen to their stuff. Like that's what you need. Something that like when we get near like kind of approaching the end of the episode, what I like to do is just ultimately ask our guests like, what is the ultimate dream?
What's your definition of success?
Yeah.
I think that I have a few different ones because like I'm like the type of person where it's like I want to have like not a plan B, but just like if this doesn't go exactly how I want, I don't want to like feel like I didn't, you know, I like let myself down or something like that. So I was like to have like an idea of what I would do if that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So like I said, one of my really good friends, like he's a local engineer. He works with like so many different artists and like even works with kind of like bigger artists too. Not like anyone super popular, but just like enough to where it's like, let's say like you work with an artist exclusively and like they get 1 million streams like every time they drop something, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's big enough. You're not like huge, but you know, and like I said, bro makes over 100,000 a year just recording. Yeah. Like that is successful. Really good living. Yeah, that is successful. Like I can't be mad at that. And I always use that as like a kind of like a pinpoint in my head of just like where even just within the next like I said, 10 years maybe I won't be exactly where I want to be, but if I'm there, like that's dope to me, bro. I'm living off my music. I'm doing what I want. I don't work for nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like I can afford what I need, like, so that's my idea. But I think in my head, like where I see myself, I think that I would be like a really good like I said, like executive producer or just like anything that's really like behind the scenes. Like I love to write songs, and I write like a lot of different stuff too, so like when I do write or whatever. But yeah, just I don't know. I think that for me, it's a lot more. Like I'll probably find an artist that I really like and like help build them, because like I really could do that, bro. Like I could even like with one of the projects I just released, or that I just worked on. It's called Colossal by an artist named Mook, Mook, and like I did the whole thing, like production, everything, and like that was when I really realized like where I could. You know, I don't have to like be the person behind the mic or whatever. So even though I love to rap and like obviously like, you know, doing those weekly drops, that was like a lot of work, and I wouldn't do that if I didn't care. You know what I mean? But I think I really discovered how much I love like just producing people and just kind of being like, yeah, like I made that sound the way it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's kind of where my head's at right now. And there's so much, like I was saying before, there's so much money to be made. Like that's really all y'all trying to do is make money, right? So like if you want to make the money, then find out how to make money. Don't find out how to rap. You know what I'm saying? Rap if you love rapping and if that's what you want to do. But like, bro, if you're really just trying to like make a move, then like there's a lot of ways you can do that without being a rapper, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all can't rap though. So like, but you know, it's like just find what's your niche or what's your niche and then go for it. Bro.
Yeah. Some people look at it though like you either make it and you're a millionaire or you don't and you're broke. It's like there's a big in between.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, one more. I think if I'm just like naming somebody, like y'all know their artist Currency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like an underground artist, but like low key, he used to be signed to Lil Wayne. Like, when Wayne first started like the Young Money thing. Mm-hmm. So he was signed to Wayne for a little bit, and I think he kind of got like a experience of like the mainstream shit, and then like really just took over the underground. Like he actually was another person who inspired me for the weekly drops because he dropped us like a mixtape every month for a year or something like that. Oh my god! Yeah. So it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, you see somebody like that, and it's like where they're at now. No, he don't have like no number one song or like whatever, but like almost every rapper that's popular, like respects Currency. Like they know him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'd love to be there where it's like, yeah, you don't have to be like the hottest guy, but like your favorite rap. That's literally the definition of your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. You know what I mean? Like you're respected everywhere. So yeah, that's another good idea for just like what success is like for me, anyways.
You said you'd like to like help grow or help like basically another artist build another artist. That just reminded me a couple months ago, Matt sent me this Instagram post. You might remember, I don't know who the guy was, but it was this interview clip, and this guy was saying, the interview asked him, do you think you can make like anyone a star, or like can you make anyone like
I don't remember.
I don't know who this guy was.
Yeah, I remember
the guy said something along the lines of, if you gave me $20,000 and a talented artist, so an artist who's like someone who actually is good, and give me $20,000, I can make him.
He's not even, he's an artist. Like the guy that said that, this is Marty, if you know who he is. He's not even like very big, but like, he's like, just, I know how to market. I know how to do all the right stuff, and no one knows how to do that stuff. If you give me $20,000, I can get you on as an artist.
I believe it, bro. Honestly, I believe it. I believe that. That's funny though. That's interesting. That to me, because I'm very like, I'll look at something like that for what it is. Like 20, you really think you can do that with 20,000? I'd love to see it. I don't think that it's impossible, but I'm like, that's an interesting number though, because we were just talking about how much it costs to make one song.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay. Like
I mean how self-sufficient they are.
Yeah, he might have been exaggerating. And who knows, but.
And I think he's got like a label, so he might, like he's got guys working for him. So like I don't think he's thinking about the like, now we got to pay for mixing, pay for this, pay for that.
No, but you still do, right? I think if you're at that level, like you're still paying.
Yeah.
I actually think it probably costs more. I wonder though, because it's like, you know, I just, like I said, that's an interesting number, and I do wonder. I think it's possible. I just love to see like what's your bro? I know this crazy story. I won't say. I'll tell you off camera who it is, but I know this crazy story, bro, about a rapper who's like, I don't really think he's popping anymore, but he was popping at a point in time. Like definitely had a following, definitely had a platform, bro. Sitting in the dude's studio I was telling you about. He's sitting in this dude's studio. He doesn't rap at this time. But the guy who's with him, he's like his manager, you know, whatever. He's like, bro, you should start rapping. Actually, tattoo your face, and we're going to make you a rapper. This kid literally did that, and he blew up. I shit you not. And it's like, and this is like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's just like one of those stories, bro, where it's like, yeah, give me 20 racks. I'll make you a superstar, bro.
Just
like,
tattoo your face a few times.
Yeah, I swear. So that's funny. Like I said, I do believe it. You get a talented person who has an image.
Yeah, man.
Do it in 10,000. That was funny.
I like that you're into like the behind the scenes stuff though, because that's kind of how I feel. It's like I love making the music and I love being the artist, but like low key, like I want to be just someone that's like like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. That kind of respect.
You could, like, you know, and you have. Do you engineer too?
Yeah. That's kind of like what I've been learning.
What about?
The most
I actually
recently.
want to ask you too about your videos. Do you guys worked on videos together?
Yeah,
he's my guy.
Okay. Did you edit the?
Not the most recent one, but the futuristic one.
Yeah. So crazy.
Yeah. So
y'all did that for real, bro. That's so dope.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was like my job, like my day job. Like I am an editor, but then I was like a year ago, like I was a videographer, and yeah, so Matt and I have been making videos for like a while now, but dude, the thing is like
not win that It just makes me mad, bro. I swear.
Yo, the thing is though, is like, I hate, like, I don't like I like editing. I am an editor, but I don't like filming stuff. That's kind of why I got a different job. Like I was a videographer, but I don't even like filming. But when I've realized when I do stuff that I'm really passionate about, like when I film with Matt or projects that I choose to film, not when like the company's like, yo, we need you to go film this thing. When I film stuff I want to film and I have all the creative control, that's actually when I really like it. And that's when the projects turn out so sick. Like,
that's when you remember why you're doing it.
You're a real artist. That's why.
Yeah.
You're not like a fucking robot. Like,
also, I
don't
don't
shoot this.
I don't want to forget. You guys were talking about like how your favorite artists or whatever. Do you listen to any John Bellion, or are you familiar with John Bellion?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
I don't even know. What type of?
He's like
I don't know how you describe. He's super unique, but he does a lot of like
maybe like
production. He's like he'd probably be labeled as like a pop singer, but like he can rap. He does like all sorts of stuff. He can do everything.
But anyways,
I'm gonna have to.
He's one of my been a favorite artist of mine for a long time now, and what I like about him is he's very active. Like he has a personal videographer who follows him around, and so every time he drops an album, a couple weeks or months after the album, all the fans know that he'll drop like a full-length documentary. But what's so cool is that a lot of the fans, and like for me as a viewer, the people who I almost respect the most or like the most in the documentaries are like his producers or like his crew around him, who like I don't know them, but I don't even know their name. But I'm like, yo, this is the guy who has done like every album with him. He's always there.
Like he's always playing keys and stuff.
And he's with John like in the studio at like 3 a.m. He's always there, and it's like that's the guy that like you gotta respect.
Yeah, absolutely. I love stuff like that, bro. Like that's so dope. Yeah, I think that that's really important when it's important for your fans, like, to have that, because people always want to know who you are like behind closed doors. You know what I mean?
As a person.
Yeah. So like, I think the best way I can explain it is just like I watched that Beyonce documentary, The Homecoming, and they were talking about like how like she like didn't eat like anything but like water and like whatever for like 3 months or something. I was like, yeah, I definitely love and appreciate that they put that in there, because it's like that performance, it looks like you literally starved yourself and just spoke, and like all you knew was just how to dance and sing. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like she killed it. And it's like, yeah, if I'm gonna ever do something, I want to do it that good. And so it's like, it's always dope to know, like, yeah, I want to know Beyonce rehearsed for 7 hours a day while she was pregnant 3 months before her Coachella. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me.
Well, that's what you were saying about if you find a new artist and you go on YouTube and they don't have any videos, it's harder to become a fan. At least for me. I think for most artists, like,
have some videos, bro.
Yeah, like
I'm not lying, bro.
Well, it's like you're a fan of their music, but you're really becoming a fan of like themselves. Like, and so it's important to like put your like everything about yourself out there. Really.
Yeah. I think the only reason you should not have a video is if you are a plant. And that would be because the label literally has said, we're going to plant you, and everybody's going to love this so much that we won't put a video out until it's like, like I think about like,
I don't know, who do you think's an industry plant?
Yo, so question.
We talked about this in the first episode.
I saw y'all briefly mention this too.
Like, is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's a real, it's, I don't think you can really
you can't confirm it.
I mean, there's some pretty obvious, but
because like I saw some comments. The Kid Leroy, he dropped an album, and I on YouTube on like a music video, and like half the comments are like industry plant.
Hey, I don't know much about him. I just know everyone's saying he's like the new Juice WRLD.
Well, I saw this clip of him in Juice WRLD, like in the like hotel studio.
Yeah,
and, like I was like, oh.
Yeah, you can usually do some research and figure out they're not a plant. Like Russ, everyone thought Russ was an industry plant, but it's like, why does he have like 12 mixtapes no one's listened to?
I'm trying to think of who, because I will say their name, bro. I'm trying to think of.
Well, I mean, like,
what about like Lil Nas?
That was an example, but I don't think so. Just because of the,
it was pretty well documented.
Yeah, and he was like a Twitter stan before. Yeah, for like Nicki. I don't know if y'all knew that, but like,
well, that like Bad Baby. She's like,
I mean, but that's not like, it's not a secret though. I feel like when you're an industry plant, it's a secret.
You know who's like,
I think they thought Yachty was, but I don't think he is.
You know who's like an industry plant to me, honestly? This may not be like the best example.
He's like Kendrick.
That'd be so crazy.
It's like,
what?
what?
Yeah, Kendrick. I'm really thinking like, you know, artists like this is a really bad example, but like Trinidad James.
Okay.
Remember how Trinidad James kind of came into the industry? Like he was like, I think well known in Atlanta, which is like industry hotspot. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think that he was like a kind of like popular for like, I don't know, like streetwear and kind of just like fashion and shit. Literally shot a video. I remember being in school, seeing this video on my phone. I was like, this is gonna be viral next week. And like the next day, it was like
just popping up.
Yeah, it's like when that kind of stuff happens and like your video looks it looks like you have like a backing a little bit. It's like, and like I said, I can't put my finger on that for sure, but I would assume like something like that definitely seems a little weird to me.
They all thought Chance was a plant just because it seems like but he's known for being independent, but like independent, I don't know what that really means anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy.
Okay, so before we like wrap it up with the underground drop of the week, I'm curious whenever we have a guest in here, like who do they kind of try and like model their career after, or who are their inspirations? So like, do you have anybody that's like
your music might be completely different, but you just really like the way they
like someone who's already made it, who like is I guess maybe known or maybe not that known, but like someone who you just feel like if you could do it that way, you'd like to model after them?
I think that I mean, I always think Currency and Wiz first. That's so funny. This is like it just
keeps coming back to Wiz.
It really did. It's so on the last podcast I brought up Wiz like 4 times but he relates to what I did early on. That's usually what you end up talking about. It's just like what you've been doing before. But yeah, like Currency and Wiz, they're just such good examples for what to like achieve or what to try to like strive for or strive to achieve like as an artist. But I'm going to use somebody else. I'm going to think of someone else.
Okay.
You know, honestly, I'm going to say Russ. I really appreciate how Russ came up. And I think the reason why is because he gets so much like backlash for the mindset, and I do think maybe sometimes the way he says things can like maybe you could have put it a different way, but it's like when the reason why I love Russ so much is because when you've gone through as much shit as Russ has, and when you've like been doubted as much and like talked down, even when you get on, like you're literally doing things that other rappers cannot say they were doing. Yeah. And it's like people still are just like, like forget Russ. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder. You might go into that next interview and be like, well, y'all ain't selling out arenas. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, I feel that, bro. Like, I just feel it. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's been hated on for so long. So it's like, whatever.
Have you read his book?
I want to. No,
that's his book right there. Yeah. This one? Yeah. You should read it.
Bro, do you have?
I love to like read when I find something I like, so I'm gonna definitely.
Do you listen to music on Spotify or Apple? Okay, because on Apple Music they dropped his book as like an audio book for free.
It's like his voice. It's free.
Yeah.
He recorded it. That's dope.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I got Apple Music for the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna check it out.
It's got that free subscription. Short. You could listen to the audio book in like it's 40 minutes.
I love it. I mean, I will literally at work like just play a podcast or like a Russ interview. Just like, if I'm just like have nothing to listen to, because like he always has something good to say. So it's like, and bro owns all his shit. That's what I was gonna say about the 52 songs. Like, if by chance one of these next joints or something pops off, it's like, bro, I don't care what I put out. I don't care if I sign the rest of my masters away. I'm gonna make bread off of those 50 songs, bro, and nobody's gonna touch that but me. Exactly, I made everything. Well, for the most part.
Russ dropped his debut album, went platinum. No one else did anything on it. It was all him, all mixed mastered
engineer.
Super
eating. You see the logo in the pool. You know what's up.
Dude, like Matt and I have talked about, we love his mentality. He gets shit on so much on like social media, and like a lot of people see some of his tweets or something he says, and it's like, oh, he's a fucking asshole. But like if you actually dive into why he has this mindset, like he reminds you, he's like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. Like hate Jordan all you want to. He's still the greatest. Like, whatever,
he's
bro.
still amazing.
Yeah. And I think about that so much because, like, especially now where you're in an era of artists just signing, like really quick. It's like, bro, I really don't ever see myself ever doing that. Like, ever. I don't ever. I mean, like, maybe if the deal was right, obviously, or like, but when I say never, I really just mean like, not any time in the first like 3 to 5 years of
Yeah.
mine. You know who another person I really would love to like model my career after? Mac Miller. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. That's one of my favorite artists. Like,
really?
yeah, bro. Because like I don't know if a lot of people know just how talent. This is a huge stretch. I'm about to say this on your podcast so we can go viral.
All right.
Dead ass. Mac Miller was like Prince, bro. And I'm not. I will say that with my chest. Mac Miller was like Prince, bro. Like there was nothing he couldn't do. And all these artists that are like, even like Kanye. Like I love Kanye's music. Kanye has like ghost producers and shit. Kanye has ghost writers and shit. Like Mac Miller, bro, was the real fucking deal.
Bro,
so
that's
shout outs to Doug. And
you ever see his like Rhythm Roulette he did?
Yeah, that's like
so
one
dope.
of my. Like,
I love
I'm
that show.
you, bro, there's a lot of things like. I'll just because obviously you're a fan. Have you heard the live album, the Live in Space?
No, I haven't, dude.
Bro, I'm gonna put you on before I leave.
Okay.
But yeah, and y'all should, if you are listening, go check that out.
It's Mac Miller. He has a live album.
Yeah, he did like he just how people do those like live albums.
Yeah.
Is that older or is it?
It's from maybe like 2013 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so bro like. Like I literally cried listening to this album yesterday because it's that good, bro. Like he's like. So yeah, shout outs to Mac, and I think the way he came in, very similar to like Wiz and them, where it's like he recorded everything, posted all the time, did the independent thing for a while, and like literally signed one of the biggest. I don't think people really know, but like one of the biggest like deals in hip hop before like when he went major.
Yeah,
I think he signed like a $10 million deal or something like that. When it's like that's like unheard of, bro. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I just think do your Googles, man. You find some artists who you should really like model your shit after, because these people out here signing contracts with the 3, the 6, and the 0, and it's like, bro, that's all bad.
Yeah, man.
Signing all your stuff away.
Yo, like dude, it's sad because I feel like a lot of these kids who are like blowing up that are like 17, 18 years old, like especially if you like didn't have any money and then you just get this deal, even if it's a shitty deal, like a lot of them probably just take it because it's like
life-changing.
And then they get locked into some shitty contract.
One thing I heard recently that really changed the way I view how I will like handle contracts in the future is I heard that J. Cole at the like height of his career, like when he dropped like that when he dropped 2014 Forest Hills Drive, he went to the label and was like, I don't want any more advances. Like I just want to like own my masters like in a few years. And they're like, like okay, you know what I'm saying? So they like didn't give him any more money, but it's kind of just like, all right. Then he dropped like no, I think it was he dropped Born
Before
Sinner.
that. Okay.
So you heard this before? Mm-hmm. Yeah, bro, that's crazy. Like you literally walk into the label like, I'm good on the money. Just give me my masters when I'm done.
And that album was the most like. For the time, like not the right way to do it, like by label standards, like no singles, no promotion.
And he wasn't even like, even when you think about like Cole, I think in terms of like singles, like, I mean, Kendrick, I would say has more like kind of more popular singles than Cole, per album, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. You probably went in there and they're probably looking at you like, bro, you better put something on the board before you come in here talking about owning anything. But that's how it goes, though, bro. Like, if you're J. Cole, I always wonder what Drake's contract is like, but we'll never know.
Oh,
how many? Okay, but real talk though, just between us three, how many of Drake's albums do you think he actually owns?
Dude, I got no clue. I don't know what it's like for him now. Cause he's the dude's arguably the biggest artist like in music.
He is.
Lucian Grange, you know who Lucian Grange is?
No.
He's the owner of Universal.
Okay.
Lucian Grange said if Drake calls him, he's getting whatever he wants. He said the Drake budget is unlimited. Nobody ever like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, you don't hear that.
Okay, well at this point, we're getting close to an hour and a half here, and it's getting kind of late, so we're gonna wrap it up. But before we do, something we like to do is an underground drop of the week whenever we have it. So. Matt, you'll start it off and then Keezy can give one. But Matt, what's your underground drop for this week?
So Levi Hinson just dropped a song last night for us. It's called Bitch I'm Up. But dude, I love all the stuff he's been doing lately. Levi.
Is he a Seattle artist?
No, he's from like...
I think he lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh,
I found him like years and years ago.
He's pretty like
on SoundCloud.
Underground, but he is really talented.
Is he getting like...
He's super dope. Yeah, he's a good...
He's like getting bigger?
No, I mean, I think he's starting to grow a little bit more.
How many listeners? I think on Spotify he might have like 5,000 monthly or something.
That's dope.
He's definitely like probably my favorite like underground artist right now. But,
those will shoot up real soon, probably. You'll be like the first one of the first ones to know about him and shit.
No, he's super dope. Yeah, and then also I wanted to shout out Timothy Salazar. He dropped a track like a week and a half ago called "Wish You Were Here." That dude's just like one of the most talented artists I know. It's cool to see him finally dropping music.
Yeah, that's his first like official single that's like on all the streaming platforms. So you guys can go check it out. It sounded like way better than I expected for someone's first. Just like very well.
He knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's a great artist.
So did he produced everything
I didn't
himself?
look, but I know he does production and stuff like on his Instagram. Okay. So I'm assuming he did the whole thing.
His setup just alone looks like he like doesn't need anybody. It's like, bro, you probably do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Timothy.
Cool.
You go next?
No, I was gonna say, do you have an underground drop of the week?
I'm gonna plug myself low key, but it's actually not. One of the artists I've been working with recently, he goes by KOTH, King of the Hill, but a lot of people just call him TH for short. And he's been around the Seattle scene for a while too. A lot of people know him before as I think Thaddeus David. So if you ever get a chance to check him out. But the song that just came out that I produced is called My Time. Okay. It's a dope record. I think the video's at like 15K right now.
Let's go.
So yeah, he's doing his thing. Shouts to TH, and yeah, if you guys
on all platforms.
Okay, sick. Available everywhere.
What's the song called again?
It's called My Time.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, it's dope record.
Sweet. Yeah, check it out. Cool. Well, guys, be sure to follow the show at Not a Sheep or at NAS Podcast on Instagram. And also, there's new episodes of this show every single Monday and Thursday, and there's full video versions on YouTube. So if you guys are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts,
just every Monday. You said and Thursday.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a good segue. We got a second podcast that goes up every Monday and Thursday called Peak to Middle School. It's filmed in the same studio here. It's with me and my buddy Kyle, so you guys can check that out. But Keezy, where can they follow you?
Follow me, Instagram, Twitter, all that. KeezyBaby wait. And man, thank you guys. Yeah,
this has been super fun, man.
Yeah. Oh, on all the streaming for my music, it's just KeezyBaby. So Spotify, all that stuff, just KeezyBaby. But on the socials, KeezyBaby wait. And
man, do you have anything on the horizon that's anything that you're like working on, like projects you're working on with anybody that's going to come out?
Yeah, I have a few things I've been working on. The artist I've been working with, Mook, me and him are doing a new project. So following up the Colossal project we just put out a month ago, can't remember. All the months have been like
so
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And then me and TH, his album's coming out soon. It's called First Team.
Did you do the whole album, or
I didn't, but I think I did like maybe 3 or 4 records on there.
Okay,
so there'll be some good material. And I like it's so funny, bro, because like the beats that I've been producing, especially for people's projects, it's not really like the stuff I'd be posting like on YouTube and stuff. It's really like a different sound than I think what people are kind of used to me like putting out there.
Yeah.
So it's cool. So yeah, those are the two main things I'm working on right now, and then just still doing my YouTube channel and my beat store. So you guys need beats, you know what I'm saying? Hit me up. I really make everything. Do it all. So yeah, man.
Cool. Matt, where can they follow you?
Oh, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheMattMog. And check me out. On Spotify, if you look up Matt Mog, MattMogg, you can check out all my music.
Yep. Matt had a single called Crazy like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Go check it out. But with that being said, new episodes every single Monday, and we'll see you guys next time.
Love.